Hello. Alright. Welcome to Neverwinter Live this week. Glad you all could make it. It is, what is today? Tuesday? Tuesday. So at least Monday's over. But I thank everybody for joining in, and I'm sitting here in the stronghold right now, just getting ready to pull out some of the gifts that I will be giving tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look. Hey, what's up, Alan? How you doing? How's the week going for you? Alright, let's see what I want to do here. Let's do one of these, because they're really good. Great girdle of strength, and let's do... Ooh, let's do two. Let's do two this. Let's do the heart of a green dragon as well. We're going to do two. Well, we're going to have an artifact belt and an artifact. Thank you so much, Rose, for hosting. Glad to see you as well. How are you doing this evening? Everybody doing good? Alright, so, you saw me pull out what I'm going to be giving out tonight, but just to show everybody, it will be a Greater Girdle of Strength, which is an awesome artifact belt. And then I will be giving away a artifact tonight, which is really nice, a Heart of the Green Dragon, an artifact of union. These gotta get your artifacts. Make sure you fill your slots, your artifact slots, as quickly as possible. I'll actually go into that. So again, tonight I will be going over the... Okay, my dog is eating all our food right now. Hold on. Let me just get that out of the way. Okay. Good, good. Glad you're doing okay. You fitting in nicely? You're very active. I see you on Neverwinter a lot. It's great. I hope you're enjoying our guild. And for those of you that are watching maybe later on and are interested in the guild, I'm going to do a shout out for that right there. Forgotten of Faroon. We are recruiting as long as you're over 21 and, well, 21 and over. And you have a mic. So I appreciate if you want to give me a chat message for Spy Shadow is my gamer tag name. So go ahead and give me one there, and we can talk about making you part of the guild, as well as if you're a guild interested in alliances. We have some spots open in our alliance. Our alliance is growing huge. Let me just show you guys right now. We just got a new guild in our alliance as well. Shout out to them. Thank you so much for coming in. It's the Nerds of Badassdom. I love the name. It's great. But we're so happy to have them. They just came in yesterday. So they're getting situated, which is awesome. But really appreciate seeing them. So we have a few more empty spots open. We have a sword we open, as well as some gauntlets. So if you're interested, make sure you give me a message. All right. So yes, we will be doing gear tonight. Did a stream a while back on gear, and something happened. I think Mixer was having issues that night, and it cut out on me halfway through the stream, so it only recorded half of it. So I did upload that half to YouTube. Again, all my streams are recorded and put on YouTube as much as I can try to put them up there. But this stream happened to have an issue, so you only got half of the gear. So I made a promise to myself that I was going to redo a gear stream, and I figured that tonight would be better than anything, just because again we have a bunch of new people that have joined the guild, and definitely there has been a lot more questions about item level and, well, how do I get the best gear, how do I get an item level up to start this dungeon or that dungeon. So I figured I'd do another stream again that kind of just fills in the whole realm of things. Just I'm going to try to shove it all in there and get as much of the information as I can this time, and hopefully it won't cut out on me. Mixer did have some issues yesterday with the chat kind of disconnecting and reconnecting, so if that's happening to you, I do apologize, but that's out of my control. It's not on my end, it's on Mixer's end, so I'm hoping they got that all fixed and ready to go. Alright? Great. So glad, Rose. Glad you think so. Glad you're having fun. That's the main point of this game, is just have a lot of fun. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll do the giveaways a little bit later on in the stream. But again, it's a artifact as well as an artifact belt. Alright, So we're going to go ahead and head on to the first set of gear. Now again, I won't spend too much time between explaining gear from level 1 to level 70 because that gear kind of drops from the quests. If you follow the quest line from 1 to 70, you're going to get all the gear you ever need to move on in leveling up. It's very easy to do. You kind of gotta keep just picking up all this gear. It's every piece of gear you get between 1 to 60, make sure you pick it up. And you're gonna look at two things. And you kind of have to balance the two things out. So each character has particular stats that are important to them. You have to find out what stats are important to your character. I'm not going to explain each one. I hope to do a stream later on, probably with going through each one of the different champion, what do you call these things? Champion types. But for now, I can only mention to you that because I am a Scourge Warlock, I will say that, for instance, the Scourge Warlock is all DPS, so he's going to want more of like the crit and the life steal and power are three really good ones for that. Alright, but if you're playing a different character, you might have a different one. So you kind of got to find which stats work for your character. As soon as you find out which stats work for your character, you want to find a way to equip every item to boost those stats alone, okay? So for instance, if I'm a Scourge Warlock and I'm boosting my stats and I'm going after crit and power, if I get a piece of equipment that has defense or has say what is another one? It's another good one. The defense or say control bonus. Control bonus is a good one. Awesome, Rose, you're Scourge too. Okay, well then you can understand probably more than anybody else what I'll explain because Scourge is kind of my baby. I love Scourge Warlock and I will talk about it all day because I love it. The others I'm not too strong on. So I'm just using this as an example, but for instance in Scourge Warlock, something like a control bonus or defense doesn't really help me. It's pointless to put stats into a defense or control bonus when it's lacking in the critical strike or armor penetration. That's another good one you want as a Scourge Warlock, or the power realm. Again, if you're a different character, it might switch. Say you're a tank. You need defense. You need to have defense, so you would put that above something like armor penetration. Alright? Takes notes on Warlocks. Yeah, Alan. I actually plan on doing a whole stream on Warlocks first because they're kind of the one I'm most comfortable with. So don't worry, there will be a whole stream on that. Hey, what's up, Skycola? How are you doing? Guys, if I am using your names on Mixer, the only reason I'm doing it is to keep your privacy. So a lot of these cool people are people from my guild, so I know each one of them. But and I know their names, and I'm just naming you in except for Alan. I think I've slipped Alan's name and he said it's okay. But yeah, I'm just doing that for your guys' privacy. So yeah, we have 15 Warlocks. Yeah, we are crazy with Scourge Warlocks in this guild. We have a ton of them. And I love it because you know what? I think that again I'm biased. Scourge Warlocks do a lot of damage and they get things done. Of course, I could say that now, but if Des was in the stream, I would say that clerics are the best because they are. Good. I'm glad you're doing good, Skycola. Hope you're having a good week. So anyway, you're going to want to look at your stats and make sure you know which ones you are when you're equipping your items. Okay, because here's the problem, is if you get an item that has a higher item level, it's going to be very tempting to equip that piece of equipment because it boosts your item level. But if you are a Scourge Warlock, for instance, and you put a bunch of gear on with an item level that's really high, and say all the stats go to defense, you actually are not a very good character. And many people, as you get later on in the higher dungeons, will start to get angry and frustrated because you are not fitting the build that you should be fitting. So I have to caution before I do this gear brief tutorial that even though I'm going to tell you how to boost your item level, you have to make sure that as you add different pieces of equipment, you're not trying to go for that item level. And what I mean by item level is if you look at a piece of gear here, for those of you that are new, and maybe you're like, well, what the hell are you talking about item level? It's that score that's right above the title. It says item level, and then, for instance, this says 420. That is the item level, and the reason there's an item level is it kind of gauges how high your character is compared to different game mechanics. So the higher your item level is, the more you're able to go into certain things like dungeons. So I'm going to give you an example here. If you go into your queue and you haven't explored this yet, I highly suggest you do, because it kind of gives you a feel of where you're at as far as your item level. But if you look at some of these dungeons, you can see that they have required item level. For instance, the Rise of Tiamat is at 7,700. So you need that amount of item level to even queue for the dungeon. Same thing as you go up. So Demigorgon is 8,400. Then you have this one, which is, these are big. Assault on Sarborg is 10,200. So there you go. That's 10,200. You have some dungeons, epic dungeons over here. For instance, here's the Lair of Lostmouth with 7,500. These are master epic dungeons. These are really important. They're 8,400. So you kind of got to be aware of your item level, and the key is to get your item level above this required item level for these dungeons in order to get better gear. And I'll show you, because some gear that I will tell you to get might not be available to you right now because you have a low item level. So the whole point of this stream is to kind of help you to get enough item level to get to the next tier. I'm going to start calling them like tiers. So in order to get to the next tier of gear, you kind of need to be building your item level up as you go, because you can't get certain tiers of gear until you reach that required item level. Alright, but again, before I get into anything, I want to make sure to let you guys know item level isn't everything. Definitely boost your stats above all else. Alright? Okay, so the first gear I'm going to show you, and this is going to be the easiest one. When you reach level 70, you're going to have to start kind of... let me find it first. I'm on the wrong side of the map. Here we go. Your first like tiers of gear are going to kind of show up as you turn 70. And this is what's... So right here is your seal trader, and you're going to collect seals by doing different things. The best thing I can say is that as you turn level 70, your gear is going to be around 7,500. It should be. It's pretty easy to get that amount of gear by just collecting all the gear pieces and make sure you equip certain things that I'm going to show you later on. But as soon as you reach this gear level, you're going to be able to start doing some of these minor dungeons. Kessel's Retreat, Shores of Turin, Valindra's Tower is a good one. But these are going to give you Seals of Element. And these Seals of Element, as well as it's going to give you pieces of gear. If you complete these dungeons, it will actually give you your next set of gear. So don't worry about, you know, trying to find item level and scrounging up all these random things, because as soon as you complete these dungeons, you're actually going to be given good pieces of gear that you can equip, as well as Seal of Elements. And these Seals of Elements, you can just come in here to the Seal Trader, into the store, and you can actually collect them. I don't have that much left because I just spent them, but this is the first great set of gear that I highly suggest you grab right away as you finish the dungeons and as you become as you become a new level 70. This Alliance Assault gear is real easy to get. Again, it kind of drops from those dungeons, and many of us in the guild or your friends can help you actually get those dungeons finished, because they're very easy for some of us higher level people. So definitely just ask around, but you will definitely be able to get through some of these dungeons as long as you have the 7,500 item level, and you can get this set of gear. So this is your first one you want to get. As soon as you start getting this, you're going to be adding up a lot of item level. These item levels are at 390, so can you imagine at a character level, if you equip every one of these pieces of gear, you're going to start really adding up. Alright? So that's kind of the first tier. You're going to want to get around those type of, you're going to want to get that set of gear, Alliance gear. Yes. Purple set drops in dungeons too. So yes, Alan, purple sets do drop in the dungeons, but they're going to drop up in the higher level dungeons, the epic dungeons. And unfortunately, the epic dungeons are at like 8,400, and unless you're actually like building up your gear and putting equipment in, you're actually never going to be able to reach that 8,400 in order to go to the next set of dungeons. Alright, so make sure that you just get that first set of gear, that alliance gear, and kind of gives you the edge on a lot of the dungeons. Alright, the next thing I suggest you do is to buy or gather enchantments and equip them to your slots. So enchantments are these little, it says if you click on the item that you want equipped, you'll see these little boxes and that they're filled in. There's the top one filled in. When you click the item, you can go down and hit manage item enchantments, and it pops up here, and you actually can equip an enchantment to the slot of each of these items. This is crucial. I don't know how many times I've walked around with a gear that have not had enchantments slotted to them, and it's kind of foolish on my part, because each one of these enchantments gives you an item level of 48. Like in this one particular, it's 48, depending on how high they are. So they're ranked. So there's like rank 1 from rank 12 enchantments. So let me give you an example. If I look down in here, manage here, see I have a dark enchantment rank 8 right now. Alright, so each rank has a particular item level set to it. So the rank 8 has 39. If you fill these slots, you see how many slots I have. That really adds up to having a very high item level. So you make sure at all times you're keeping your eye out to finding these higher level enchantments, as well as refining them and making them higher. Because every time you upgrade one of them to the next rank, you actually get like a boost of, I think it's 8 or 9 item level. So you want to make sure you're doing that. So those will give you quite a bit of item level. Also, of note is as you start going into the dungeons and finishing them, you're going to start collecting AD. I'm sure you're aware of it, Astral Diamonds. But in collecting them, you are going to want to look at the trade house a lot of times, because the trade house can give you a boost in item level very quickly. So I'm going to show you real quick here. If we go into refinement and we go into enchantments, let's just go epic just for the sake of it. Okay, I don't want 7. I probably should have just looked it up. All right, let's do. I don't really feel like spelling it all out. Let's see if I can speed through it. Okay, so let's look at this. So around here, these, like, look at this. This is a rank 7 enchantment that's on bid for 8,500 Astral Diamonds. Alright, so the amount of time it takes you to refine your enchantments, starting like from level 1 to like getting up to rank 7, might not be worth your time, when in the trade house you can actually buy these things for Astral Diamonds like very cheaply now. These enchantments have dropped in price as Neverwinter has matured. So you have to always pay attention, because you might be able to just snag a couple of these really high enchantments quickly well off. For instance, if you play like 2 or 3 dungeons a night, you're going to get around 8,500 Astral Diamond or more. So if you get that, it's pretty easy, because you just buy these straight out and boom, you have a boost of 32 item level. So if you find that you're like just below the amount of item level for a dungeon, just come into the trade house, buy a couple of these higher level enchantments, and then stick them on your character, and it'll be, it'll be so quick. I bought all mine at rank 7, put them on, and yeah, and then so Alan, thank you for reminding me, because I want to be able to show everybody. Trade bars, which is what you can get from opening up lock boxes with keys. Highly suggest you guys get VIP. It's very easy to get a lot of these higher level enchantments if you get VIP. It's only $10 a month. Pretty easy when you think about it. But if you go into the trade bar merchant and you go here to enchantments and runestones, look at all these right here. So right here, these enchantments are rank 7, and they're only 6 trade bars. If you open up one box, you're almost guaranteed 6 trade bars. So just think, every box you open with an enchanted key, you can almost buy one of these outright and put it onto your character. I highly suggest that if you're a new level 70, to immediately go in here and try to buy all your rank 7 enchantments and stick them on your character. But keep in mind that as you buy these, make sure you're buying the right one. If you're a Scourge Warlock, you do not want to buy a silver enchantment because it is recovery and deflection. And most Scourge Warlocks do not use recovery and deflection. So you just have to make sure you're buying the right enchantments for your characters. So I would highly suggest you equip those. Alright, let's see. What else are we looking at? Okay, let's look at your artifacts. So your artifacts, there's 4 slots for artifacts. A lot of these artifacts are very cheap and easy to buy on the trade house as well, or you can collect them by winning stuff in the stream, like I have one tonight. But these are also very high item level. Alright, so for instance, I'm just going to show you the one that I'm going to give out tonight. This Heart of the Green Dragon is already 52 item level, and this is a common artifact. So as soon as you get up into the higher level artifacts, you start to see that the item level stacks very well. So for instance, here at an epic, I already have 192 item level for this one artifact. Alright, and then legendary, it's like 260. So you want to make sure that all 4 of these artifact slots are filled by the time you get to levels, like right after you get to level 70. Because even at 3 common artifacts, you're looking at a 200 plus item level increase there. And these artifacts, again, go for very cheap in the trade house. I can't stress enough the fact of looking into the trade house as quickly as possible when you start getting AD and buying some of these things to fill your slots. As soon as you fill your slots, you can switch and put different items in as you get better. Don't worry about not having the right thing in the right slot at the beginning, as long as it's cheap. Like, so if a Horn of Valhalla drops and you don't have an item in your artifact, put it in there. It's good to do. It's good to have because it gives you that boost of item level as well as some stats. So make sure you're doing that. Oh my god, my dogs are going crazy. Brooklyn. Alright. Anyway. So some of these artifacts are very cheap. Some of them are expensive, but some of them are easy to get. So make sure you equip your artifacts. And then as you refine them up into higher levels, you actually will get a bigger item boost as well. And by the way, if you guys have any questions while I'm going through all this, please feel free to shout it out in chat. Don't worry about cutting me off because I would much rather listen to your guys' questions than and answer those than kind of continuing to ramble on. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep on going with as much as I can tonight. Alright. So the other thing are your artifact weapons. You get 2 artifact weapons is what they're called. You get a main hand and an offhand, and if you are a new level 70 and you finish the Elemental Evil quest, you should already have known. Okay, my dogs are fighting right now. Hold on one second. Alright, I'm back. My little dog was being a bully to my bigger dog. Isn't that funny how that always works? The little one ends up being the meanest one. Okay. You get 2 artifacts. You get a main hand and an offhand. And those artifacts weapons are much higher in item level than any other weapons that you have. So I would suggest as soon as possible to buy, to get those Elemental Evil artifact weapons and put them in your slots. After that, you will get another set of artifact weapons in Underdark campaign. Dogs are great. They are awesome. I love them to death. They're crazy as all get out, but I enjoy them, and I get much comedy out of my day from watching them. They do some funny things. So, same here, my I know. It's so true. I don't understand why my little one is always the bully, because the big one can literally chomp down on her and really pin her down, but she won't do it. I don't know why. So the 2 of them end up just kind of, the little one runs in circles around the big one and barks and barks and barks, and then the big one just kind of whines and acts all annoyed about it. Anyway. So these artifact weapons are going to be really good to put in your slots. You'll get a set in Underdark that are even higher item level, and then you can get a final set either in Storm King Thunder or River District. Depends on which one you want to go for. So I have the one in River District right now. But my suggestion is to get these artifact weapons put in right away, because as they rank up, they might look like they're a lower item level than other weapons that you can buy off-right and put in, but the more you rank these weapons up from common to uncommon, or if you guys are more familiar, going from green to blue to purple, it'll actually really, the item level almost doubles, even triples by the time it gets up to some of the higher levels. So that becomes very beneficial. And it just has way better stats. So again, even though I'm kind of talking in terms of item level, a lot of the stats kind of just get better as we get up in item level. So you just gotta make sure that you're constantly upgrading your stuff to higher levels. And so, for instance, right now I have two things right here that I need to get up to epic, because right now they're just common, and because of that, my item level is kind of taking a hit, and my stats are a little bit lower than they should be. Alright, so that's a good way of getting all that gear. As soon as you do some of those things, you're going to get to the point where you can start going into these epic dungeons. This is at 8,400, so again, from 7,500 to 8,400, you kind of just needed 900 gear score as item level. And that's pretty easy to get using the enchantments like I told you, and getting that alliance gear and filling it up, as well as filling your artifact slots as well as your artifact weapon slots. Alright, so as soon as you do that, you're probably going to get to the point where you can play into some of these master dungeons, and this is going to start giving you Seals of the Protector. Now, Seals of the Protector are better than the elemental seals, and that also the dungeons drop the purple gear, like Alan said a little earlier on, and this purple gear is even better. It's at a item level 405. So you go from a 390 to then getting a 405. So make sure that you collect all these and get these put into your slots as soon as possible. These drop from the dungeons, the epic dungeons, so Temple of the Spider epic, Grey Wolf Den epic, those type of dungeons. So you want to collect the gear pieces. And here's my suggestion: when you collect the gear pieces, do not spend your protector seals on this gear here. Let me repeat that again. Do not spend your protector seals on the gear here. Alright? This gear will drop from the dungeons for you. Alright? You do not need to buy it. You do not need to be impatient. The reason I'm saying this is, I'll show you, there is another set of gear that you should be looking for as soon as you hit level 70 that is very, very good. Alright, and it's at a stronghold. You need to make sure you're part of a guild. So again, if you are not part of a guild, please send me a message and I can try to get you into a guild, whether it's ours or someone else's. But in order to get this next set of gear, you have to be at a guild that is I think, guild level 5 or higher, I believe. But don't worry, we can get you into a guild that does this, but you need to make sure you're in one, because the Dragonflight gear, which I'm about to show you, is the next set of gear that's better than the Elven gear, and it is like world of a difference. I mean, me going from my Elven gear to my Dragonflight gear was like crazy. I mean, the stats are amazing. Alright, so I'm going to go over here and show you. It's over here in your guild. You go to the Outfitter, and you go to your Dragonflight right here. Alright, this set is an item level 420. Alright, and this is one of the best sets out there for level 70 characters that is very easy to get. Very easy. Okay? If you're part of a guild, there's 3 simple things you need to do. Alright, again, you have to be at an item level 8,400 so you can get protector seals. And that's what you want to save your protector seals for. You want to save them for this gear. Alright, don't spend them on other gear because it's a waste. Alright, then the other thing you need to do is you need to be getting your guild marks. Getting guild marks is by doing a ton of things in the stronghold that help your guild out. I have another tutorial for stronghold that show you how to get guild marks in my YouTube. Please take a look at that. Alright, but the guild marks are important, alright? And then the last thing are these dragonflight fangs down there at the bottom right. You see I have 26 of them. These dragonflight fangs are collected by completing the dragonflight event. Alright, we have a dragonflight event and that we do every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in our guild, alright? Other guilds do it at different times, but each guild will most likely try to run their Dragonflight event once a night. Alright, and you have the opportunity to get from 1 to 4 pieces of Dragonflight fangs, depending on how many people show up in the event and kill the dragons. Again, there is another tutorial stream for Dragonflight that you can look at to understand how to do it. But that is how you get the fangs. If you get all 3 of these things, you are able to buy the Dragonflight gear. And this gear is really, really good for 2 reasons. Again, it is a higher item level and it has a ton of extra stats. But the other reason is if I do an inspection on it, there is a set bonus. Alright, now as you get up higher in level, in item level, you're going to start collecting pieces of gear that are going to have these set bonuses. Please pay attention to the set bonuses. If you ignore the set bonuses, you might be losing out on valuable stats that you could be getting by doing the set bonus. A set bonus is if several pieces of this set are equipped at one time. So for instance, I have 3 out of 4 of the Dragonflight raid set or assault raid set. It doesn't really matter which one it is. But when I do, it says it's giving me 500 plus power in stats, as well as 2,000 maximum hit points for equipping 2 of it. Alright, this really comes in handy because that is a big boost of stats for you when you get the Dragonflight. So if you're wondering why everybody's kind of going after this Dragonflight, you're kind of like, why the hell would I be doing this every night? It's kind of boring or blah 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 blah. It's because this is one of the best sets of gear, and as you can see, some of these pieces need 24 of them. The chest one is a little bit higher, it needs 36. But this is the set you want to go after. Alright, so I highly suggest you be going for that right now. Save your protectors. Make sure you do your epic dungeons with people in order to collect your seals enough to get this set. Alright. So by the time you have your Dragonflight set, you're going to be running like a little bit lower than about 10,000 gear score. Maybe a little bit like 9,000. You might be around 9,000. Let's say you're around 9,000. I'm ballparking it, so don't quote me on that. If I'm a little bit wrong, I'm trying to somewhat give you a couple of steps to take. Hey, what's up, Karik? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, and my guild is going to be running T3s and Dragonflight in a half hour, so make sure you guys are there if you can be. I'm going to go ahead and do the first drawing. So this will be for let's do the artifact belt. I will give you guys some points for watching. Those of you that have stayed on, thank you so much. And we're going to go ahead and run the raffle. You have to be a follower in order to do that, in order to be a part of this. So make sure you do an exclamation point F raffle. That's fraffle. Great. Okay, awesome. Alan's got it out there. And we will be doing the other giveaway a little bit later on in the stream. Okay. Good. It's working for everybody today. Awesome. Okay. So let's see. You're going to be running around 9,000. And again, at this point in the queues, you're going to have finished kind of doing some of these epic dungeons. But you're not going to be able to do like, let's say, here's, let's look at some other ones that are a good example. Okay, so for instance, here is, okay, like Demigorgon Master, like you can't do this until you get 9,500. Assault, you need like 10,200. Then you get up here to 11,000, which is the highest item level at this point, required item level. Alright? So you have to make sure you get there, and you're kind of wondering, Eric, why the hell, how am I going to get there? I have this Dragonflight set of gear, I got my enchantments up, I'm working on them, I got all my artifacts kind of slotted, and you're kind of wondering, well, how do I get that extra item level that is necessary to get to these higher level dungeons? Well, in the recent mod, they made a change, and this change actually can help a lot of people out if you pay attention and use it properly. Alright? But they added item level to your companions and your mounts. Alright? In two different ways. So you got to make sure that you're paying attention and you kind of are giving your companions and mounts a little bit of love. Alright? Many times, you know, when they weren't, when there wasn't any item level connected to them, the mounts and the companions kind of went to the wayside. People said, what the hell? You know, my companions, I have a great companion. Maybe I only have 3 companions and maybe 2 mounts. But, you know, that's fine, right? Well, not anymore, because the companions and mounts are a great way for you to get that extra little bit of item level that will put you above the next tier. Alright, let me show you, because if you go into companions now, each one of these companions has an item level associated with it depending on its rarity. So I have, right here, I have some epic companions that are each a piece 100 item level. Alright, I have a rare companion over here, 50. Congratulations, Craig! You win! Woohoo! I will get you your artifact belt after this stream. Congratulations, man. And we will be doing another one in a couple minutes. Alright, so stick with me. But anyway, each one of these companions has item level attached to it. So if you have only 2 or 3 companions slotted, you are wasting item level. And you're wasting stats, because each one of these companions do give you stats. And now there's item level that comes with those stats. So my suggestion is to look for companions. Again, you have to peruse... I like that word, peruse. You have to peruse the trade house. You have to buy out the companions. You have to ask for help from people. People will give companions. You know what, Craig? I knew that I forgot to give someone their item last stream, and I did not remember who it was, and you confirmed it. It was you. So, you know, the funny thing is I'm giving away the same item that you won last stream, so I'm going to pull another item out, and I'm going to give you both. Alright, so you will get the Girdle of Strength, which is an artifact belt, and I will give you another item as well. So that way you're not getting 2 of them. That's funny that you won both of them, though. What are the chances, right? Yeah, I will do that for you. I apologize that I'm forgetting. No, actually, so Alan, I think, well, let me check. I think that it all counts, but let me see. So I'm at 11, 9, 22 right now. If I go companion, let's drop one of these. Companion, make idle. All of the items, okay, I don't really care. See, yes. So, there I proved it. If you unequip them, no, even your idle companions, or not your idle companions, but your active companions count for item level. Alright, so you got to make sure that all 5 of these slots are filled with companions, because if not, you're losing valuable item level as well as stats. So see how each one of these companions have an active bonus? That active bonus is included in your stats for each one of these. So for instance, I have 165 armor penetration from this guy. I have the increased damage targets by 6% on this guy. I have 190 power that's added on. I have this one, which is my favorite one. If you fail to critically hit, I can do another additional damage equal to 50% of my power. And then I have an active bonus here. Alright, so these are all active bonuses that are included when you slot your companions. So make sure you're slotting all 5 of your companions. And again, it gives you item level as well. So you even get double bonus. You get an extra bonus, and then you get slotted. Yes, Alan. Yes. So I was getting to that. So then on top of that, you get the item level for each one of your companions. But the one that is currently summoned actually gives you extra item level depending on what gear you put on it. Okay, so that's really important. All right, because if you have a summoned companion, so say I summon, so right now I have, let's remember, I have 11,922. All right, because I have this one summoned. All right, but if I flip over and say summon Drago over here and hit boom, okay, now I've summoned him. Check out my item level. Look how far that went down. All right, my item level went down 1,500 points just by having the wrong companion equipped. So my first suggestion is to make sure that you have the companion that you want. So this is my favorite companion. This one does the most stuff for me. So I'm going to make sure that he's the one I'm summoned, okay? And then I'm going to stack him with 3 runestones that are my highest runestones and my highest equipment. Now this equipment I can get by doing T3s in my stronghold. These are some of the strongest equipment. And look, it's got 420 item level per pieces of equipment put on there. Alright, so if you aren't putting the best equipment on there, you are going to end up losing item level, unfortunately. Alright, so make sure you're doing that, okay? These other ones, don't spend time on them, okay? If I put stuff in these slots, it doesn't count, alright? They're empty. But they do give me that active bonus, and they give me that item level bonus of 100 for these, and 50 for this one. Alright, so again, you want the one that's summoned to have all your best runestones, your highest ones. Bonding runestones are the best. Make sure you put bonding runestones in your companion, okay? Don't go for any of the other ones. I mean, you can use them, but as soon as you get bonding runestones, do not delete them or sell them or give them away. You make sure you fill them, because they're the best. Alright, and then here's your equipment as well, and you want to make sure that each equipment piece has its slot filled as well. So again, you want enchantments for this. So for instance, I think right now, like I only have a rank 7, I probably should upgrade this because these are low. Alright, hold on, I'm getting called out by some other friends in another game, and they're annoying me. Okay, never mind. Alright, thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, Alan, no problem, no problem. Thank you for doing that. Alan's a great resource as well for you guys. If you have any questions, make sure you talk to him in game because he's got a lot of valuable info as well. All right, so that's your companion. Why are bonding the best? Good question, Rose. Good question. See, you're paying attention. I like it. Okay, so bonding is the best because of this equip. If you read it, it says when your companion activates a power, it has a chance to grant you a companion's gift, which grants you 35% of your companion's stats for 20 seconds for each bonding runestone equipped. Alright, and this is particularly built around your companions. So that if you look at it, every time your companion activates a power in the fight, it gives you this gift, which is basically it gives you 35% of whatever stats are equipped to your companion, and it basically flips it over into your character and builds on it. Okay, so for instance, let me look at this one. So I have 2,274 power on my companion right now. Now I have 3 bonding runestones. All right, which each of them count for 35% of my companion stats. All right, so if you think about it, it says for each one equipped. So if I have 3 equipped, and each one is at 35%, then I'm getting 105% of my companion stats flipped into my character. And when that happens, I'm basically getting above 2,274 power put into my stats. That is a huge boost. You're talking about an amazing boost in power in stats, alright? So when I look at my stats here, this power that's 23,000 right now, 2,000 of that is coming just from my companion. Well, actually, no, it's not even counted yet because I'm not even in battle. As soon as I'm in battle, that bonding runestone will do its damage, and when it does, it'll flip another 2,000 power into my stats. So you have to make sure you read each of these runestones, and I'll show you an example of another runestone. Let me look at one. Like, for instance, this one, the offensive slot, it only gives you 190 armor penetration. So can you imagine flipping a bonding runestone, which will give me 35% of my companion stats, over with a other runestone that gives me 190 armor penetration? It doesn't compute. It never does. None of these other runestones will ever be as good as a bonding runestone. Neverwinter actually made the bonding runestones way too OP, and unfortunately for them, they can't like take it back. So everybody goes bonding runestones. They're also the most expensive though, so hey, you take what you get, right? Does that answer your question? Definitely the other runestones are good if you have them to equip and you don't have bonding runestones, but I would be crossing your fingers about getting bonding runestones because they are really, really, really nice. I love it. My companion does a lot of damage, or it helps me do a lot of damage because of them. Alright, so that's your companion. The other way you're going to do it is through mounts. Alright, now again, these mounts, if you do not have mounts, all 5 mounts equipped, you're losing item level. Alright, and the reason you're using item level is because they're insignias, which in the case of most of your mounts, you're going to have 3 slots for insignias. Your insignias carry item level with them. Alright, so this barbed insignia of skill carries a 50 item level with it. Alright, so you can imagine that if I only have 2 mounts equipped, I am losing 9 slots of item level as well as stat boosters. Alright, so you have to make sure that you collect 5 mounts. Alright, now again, the mounts are based off of different rarity, but I would just grab whatever mounts you can right now. Usually most of them will be maybe common to start out with, but if you slot all 5 of your mounts and you fill their insignia slots, alright, then you're going to get item level for it. Alright, it's going to benefit you, as well as give you stats. Again, make sure you're paying attention to stats. So I picked this barbed insignia of skill because it gives me 100 plus critical strike as well as combat advantage. Alright, I did that because of my Scourge Warlock. You might put a different insignia in this slot that gives you better stats with something else. But my point here is just to let you know, make sure you're filling these insignia slots with good insignias because it gives you item level and it gives you stats. Alright? And again, it's not that hard to get insignias anymore. It's very nice. Look, insignias. I'm going to do common. I'm going to do uncommon right here. Look at them. It's 100 astral diamonds, and that's a 40 level item level. So you can buy, like, all of them, like, almost off the trade house by doing one dungeon. If you do one dungeon and you get 4,000 astral diamonds, you can pretty much buy all the insignias that you would need for your mounts. Alright? Now, again, as you get up into the other ones, like, for instance, this, like, even this isn't that bad. Some of them are, like, 9,000. Like, that's not bad at all. Do duplicate powers stack with mounts? No, they do not, unfortunately. Yeah, I will go into those in a second, Alan. Good point. But yes, I was very disappointed in that because some of my best mounts have duplicate powers. Yeah. But, so anyway, you can buy these and, yeah, very good question, Alan. You can buy these and you do it. Alright, so when Alan's talking about powers, let's go into that right now because that's a good thing to do. Alright, insignia bonuses. Is that what you're talking about, Alan? If it's not, please let me know. You could be talking about these powers as well. Equip power and combat power. I'll do all of them, I guess, because they're good information. Yeah, you have 3 of the same. Okay, you're talking about insignia bonuses. Yeah, Alan, it is very. Trust me, this has been a lot of frustration on my part in trying to figure out how to get a good amount of mounts. So anyway, what Alan's saying is that when you equip a set of insignia bonuses, you get this insignia bonus. Or when you equip 3 of them, it gives you an insignia bonus. So for instance, look, I have Berserker's Rage, Magistrate's Patient, Champion's Return, Berserker's Rage again, and Cavalry's Warning. Alright, so when he's talking about that, he's saying that you can't stack these powers. So see, I have 2 Berserker's Rages. It basically means that I'm wasting one of my insignia bonus sets. which is very bad on my part. All right, so I suggest that as you're collecting mounts, you kind of look at what sets they do, and the sets are kind of how do I put this? The sets are set in stone. That's the best way I can put it. If you get a mount, it will actually have a certain pattern of insignias, and that pattern of insignias, except for a rare few mounts that can give you kind of different bonuses, though that insignia bonus is set in stone for you. So for instance, I have two of my mounts here, and they both do Berserker's Rage. I probably shouldn't have two of these mounts slotted together because they're giving me the same amount of bonus and it doesn't help. Alright, so you want to make sure you look at these insignia bonuses, and they have them set up here for you for your to assist you, and it tells you what they look like. So for instance, 2 crescents and an enlightening gives you Slayer's Redemption. And that's how you read it. So you just have to make sure that you are looking, first of all, you want to look for the insignia bonuses that help your character out. And then after that, you kind of want to find the mounts that fit those insignia bonuses, but you want to make sure that each of the mounts are different. I don't know how else to put that. It's kind of difficult. But the main thing is you get enough item level from filling all 3 insignia slots. And the other thing you can get is you get these different item levels for combat power. So this encourages you to get better mounts. I think that it's already been encouraged to everybody. You want to get a faster mount. The more, so from green, blue, purple, orange, those mounts give you faster movement speed. So for instance, like this is green is 50, blue is 80, purple is 110, and then I have 140 equipped because I have a legendary one. Alright, but that you want to make sure you also get legendary and epic mounts, because you're able to get an equipped power, which gives you a 250 item level, as well as a combat power, which gives you a 100 item level. If you have a legendary mount, the equipped power goes up to 500. The only reason I'm not doing is because recovery is not really helpful for me. Okay, Rose, if you have 2 bonuses that do the same thing but are called different things, do they stack? If they are called different things, do they stack? Is there an insignia bonus that is called differently? Rose, if the insignia bonuses are named differently, they do stack. Champion Struggle and Champion Return. Okay, thank you for spelling it out to me, because that helps me out. Champion... I saw one of them. Where's the other one? Champion's Return. Okay, you instantly receive 20% stamina. Okay, good. And then Champion's Struggle. Those are 2 separate ones. You're fine, Rose. Those actually give you... Those will stack. So that's kind of nice. Those are 2 good ones to have together, if you can use the stats. I'm trying to look at them right now. Okay, you get... Yeah, they're not... It's not too bad. I guess for your Scourge Warlock, you probably want better insignia bonuses later on. But if those are the mounts you have, then definitely fill those insignia slots and use those bonuses until you can get another mount. Because it is helpful. I mean, it gives you hit points. Who doesn't want hit points? Seriously. But yeah, they will stack. They have to be different names. If they're the same name, it will not stack, unfortunately. I wish, because if they did stack, I would really stack up on one of these. Some of these are just better than others. Yeah, they have the same summary, but even though they have the same summary, if they're different names, they will give you two different insignia bonuses. I wouldn't worry about that. All right. So we're coming to the end. I'm gonna do this last thing. Give all. Oh no, let's do another fraffle. This is for the artifact. Yeah, no problem, Rose. No problem. That's good questions. Really good questions. It's good to ask these now, because you're gonna be like me in playing Neverwinter, where I had my stats all over the place and it was horrible to fix. um, but yeah, this is for the artifact. I'm trying to think of other gear things. I went over the mounts and companions, which was really important, and it wasn't in the other gear. Um, it wasn't. What am I saying? It wasn't in the other gear stream. So I'm glad I got over that. Another thing is just make sure you start getting into these other collections of oh, here's another good thing to show you guys. If you haven't already figured it out yet, this collection right here tab is very helpful. If you go into some of the areas, you can find where to get what gear. So like for instance, if you go into like, let's just pick Storm King Thunder. Travis, I'm about to finish. He says the greatness has arrived. Oh, and he's gonna fraffle. Travis, he just wants to collect things. So if you go into the set here, it'll actually show you where everything is. So for instance, if you look at a piece of gear and you don't know where it is, find it in this collection tab, and then when you do, it will tell you where to get it from. So for instance, it says unrestored relic bodywear is obtained in Fangbreaker Island. Well, you would follow it and go to Fangbreaker Island and find the piece of gear that you want. Alright, so you just have to make sure that you're constantly looking for different gear. Some gear is better. I mean, I could spend hours telling you whatever every piece of gear is. If Travis wins, I called Rig. Yeah, at this point, Alan, I call Rig too because he popped in right at the end, and I don't. Travis wins too many of these. He will give it away. All right, good. Well, that's very nice of you, Travis. So make sure you're looking in this collection task for help. It gives you different types of gear and how to find it. All right. So if there's any other questions, you'll have to ask. Oh, Greg won again. Greg, you crazy. You went. He even entered the second one. Oh, DC came in a little too late. I like that. All right, Craig, you can make the decision. You won fair and square, so I can give you all three because I owe you one from the last stream as well. Or you can give it away to whomever you choose. We are a guild and we love each other. So okay, great. He wants to give it to Rose. That's awesome. All right, Rose, I will give it to you. Here, actually, I'm right in front of you, so I'm gonna do that. Make sure you guys are making it to the stronghold because we're about to start T3s. Rose, you are Lizeth, right? Lizzie. Are you? Just to make sure. Did she leave already to go the stream? I just want to make sure I'm giving it to the right person. Wait, where did she go? Oh, there she is. She's right in front of me. Is this you, Rose? Woohoo! I try to keep up with people. Liz, that's sweet. I was right. I'm getting better, guys. I'm getting better. There you go. That's a nice artifact. I like it. I think it's a very fancy way. If you accept the trade, you have to kind of say I agree to the trade. You don't have to give me anything. Just it says something like, yes, sweet, and there you go. I won't make. Oh, sorry, Skycola, you won't make it tomorrow. I'm actually won't make tonight. Here I am standing in front of everybody, but I need to get off. You're still updating? Yes, Keurig, I can mail it to you. So what is your I have to get off right now. I have something else to do, but I will make sure to remember this time since you reminded me that I have both your things with me, and I will make sure to get them to you as soon as I can. All right. With that, guys, I bid you a good night. This will be up on YouTube for you to look back at when you need to know about gear. On Thursday, I will be going over some dungeons. So I will need some people to help me out with it. So feel free to join. And with that, I will see you Thursday night. Thank you all, and good night.